Hey guys, I hope you're having a great day and that the sun is shining where you are. Yesterday we had a pretty crazy storm here. We had severe thunderstorms for about 2 to 3 hours. I picked pretty much everything I could before that storm rolled in, but now it looks like we're gonna get another wave of thunderstorms over the next 4 days. So I have a couple buckets of blooms in the addition, and basically I'm not gonna be setting up the stand for the next couple days. But I find myself with some free time today, so I thought I'd do a bit of vessel shopping. I've seen a lot of people ask where I get my vessels, and when I say that I get them from consignment and thrift stores, I think a lot of people are surprised. So I thought maybe I would just take you to some of these thrift stores and we can go shopping together. I always just set my budget maximum $20 for a vessel. And I always kind of go for a compote or an urn. That's just kind of what I like to arrange in. So I thought you might like to join me. So why don't we get ready to go? We can take a look at the buckets of flowers in the addition, and I can show you some vessels that I currently have and really enjoy using. And I can also give you a look at this arrangement that I did. I guess it's been 3 days. So everything is looking pretty good. The only thing that's kind of not loving life anymore is the Dr. Alexander Fleming peony. But other than that, I'm just refilling the water and making sure it's all topped off. So let's head into the addition and I'll show you those flowers. Okay, wait, I want to show you one other thing. Here's some propagation that I'm doing. Would you guys mind letting me know if you would like kind of a propagation series? You know, some people ask me about how I have so many drifts of things in the garden. I usually will buy about 3 of the same plant, and as long as there's no patent or anything like that, I'll just go ahead and propagate it. So I'm doing some softwood propagation on the Bergarten sage. So if you'd like kind of a short tutorial on softwood cuttings, hardwood cuttings, root cuttings, leaf cuttings, anything like that, just let me know. And this is what my daughter made me for Mother's Day. Isn't that fun? It's the origami flower, and I put it in this nice vase from a viewer. She actually put it on a knitting needle that I have. So I thought that was fun. Okay, let's look at those blooms in the addition. So I basically tried to save up as many ranunculus as I could that were open to the point where I didn't feel like they could take the rain. Normally, if they're still in tight bud, like say for instance this, and we can go out there even and see the kind of damage I'm looking at. I left anything out there that looked like that. When I get a really big thunderstorm, this seems to be able to handle the thunderstorm. But something, you know, say like this guy, he's just gonna get too damaged and kind of fall apart. And honestly, I should have harvested him earlier anyway. And then I have never seen a foxglove be able to endure basically any kind of severe rainstorm. So I picked a bunch of that. I picked some of the white foxglove. These are all foxy foxglove, and these are all plantings from last year. So I planted it last year in the early spring. It flowered once, kind of on the short side for a foxglove, but I just cut it back and left all the basal foliage there. And now these are blooming again, really, really tall. So that was just something interesting to see that the foxy foxglove does come back for a second year. I also grabbed some peonies, and then I grabbed some nigella. It looked like nigella took the storm fine. I don't have netting on the nigella. I do have netting on things like Orlea and my carnations, my bells of Ireland. Those things have netting, but mainly I was worried about, you know, this tall stuff. The delphinium, like look at this delphinium. I got it all tangled up, sorry guys. Is that absolutely amazing or what? So anyway, hopefully we can do maybe something with these two today. I don't think I'll really make a formal arrangement since I really have one of those on the dining room table, but maybe I'll do like a vignette of just all the same flower in blue and white vases when we come home. And then my daughter expressed interest that she would like some ranunculus for her room, so I'll just give those ones to her. So here's some of the vases that I like to use or that I've purchased from some of these consignment stores we're going to go to today. This is really one of my favorites, this footed compote. I use that one all the time. I also like any kind of colored glass. Pretty much if it's a footed vessel and colored glass, I'll usually go ahead and buy it. That usually seems to always work out for me. I also just have this nice plain white porcelain vessel, and I noticed when I got this one home and started to arrange in it that, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera, but it's actually been made uneven, so it actually almost tilts like this when you set it down on a level surface. But you know what? For $2 or whatever I paid for it, who cares, right? Here's a vessel that I had full intent to paint, and I just haven't got around to that yet. But it might even have the price on the bottom. Yeah, see, this was $2. So, you know, once I spray paint this, you know, gray or black, that's going to be a beautiful vessel for $2. I mean, that's awesome, right? Now we can also be on the lookout for floral frogs when we're there. This one was my grandma's, but sometimes you will find frogs at antique stores, and I would definitely pick them up because they are very expensive to buy new. And then I have this larger vessel, which I really loved. I have made some arrangements in it, but you know, I need a little bit more practice with this one. I don't really feel like my scale is correct when I build in this. It just never looks quite right. And then also I like to look in the pottery section. This piece of pottery my Aunt Maria made, I suppose you would call this shape kind of a crock shape, but really any kind of pottery, any design, any kind of cast iron work, that's kind of a fun thing to grab also. So guys, I think let's head on out. We can take a look at the difference in the 1-year-old foxglove versus the 2-year-old foxglove if you like, and then we will finally get going, I promise. So guys, here is the Foxy Foxglove that is on its 2nd year. So I normally see this listed, this particular variety of foxglove listed as an annual, but what it did for me was that last year I planted it in very early spring, then it bloomed in late May. I cut it all the way down to the ground and I just left the basal foliage there. These exact foxglove were actually in this raised bed where the ranunculus are last year. And then when I needed that raised bed for ranunculus, and I guess that would have been March, right? I just moved their basal foliage right over here. And now here they are blooming again, so much stronger, so much taller, so much thicker of a stem. So if you're growing Foxy Foxglove and you have room to stick it somewhere for the 2nd year, I would give it a try. I'm much more impressed with these stems than I am with the ones that I put in, well, I guess, well, when did I even publish that video? Maybe late March, early April when we planted cool flowers. So let's go take a look. Oh wait, here, let me show you the ranunculus first. Very easily distracted by flowers. But the ranunculus took the storm pretty good. Really not too much damage. I did try to pick everything that looked good before it got started. Some nice oranges, some reds coming on, and a lot of pink. You can see that the Love in the Mist was pretty much unaffected by the storm. This is fall planted Love in a Mist, and it's just absolutely spectacular. Over there, my Orlea is starting to bloom. That is netted. That probably would have gotten pretty damaged had it not been netted. But yeah, guys, I'm just really thankful to not have too much loss. You just never know. I've gone through a couple years where we had some really horrible hailstorms where, I mean, there was definitely crying involved, you know, those years, but that's just what happens sometimes. So now let's take a look at that 1st year Foxy Foxglove. Let me show you one more thing. This is a Ringo rose in full bloom right now. I planted this guy in the fall. This rose is supposed to be disease resistant, and since I live in such a hot, humid environment with so much rain, I feel like I can really put that statement to the test. So far, so good, so I'll let you guys know on that. So yes, back to the task at hand. Okay, one more thing. Check out the Siberian iris. All right, we're over here where I do have the Foxy Foxglove from this year, but I have to show you these Christophii allium before we head back over there, because don't these look like literal garden fireworks? I've seen that most people just leave theirs in the garden and let the seed heads form, and they look really cool that way too. So I think I'll give that a try. But back behind here, you can see just starting to bloom, we have some 1-year-old foxy foxglove. So I know it's always hard perspective-wise, but I'm hoping you can see the difference in the stem length, the stem quality, the stem strength, the stem circumference. It's still definitely a great cut flower, but just nothing in comparison to the ones that were planted last year. And you can see the sweet peas there too. So I hope that's helpful to somebody to see the difference between first year and second year foxy foxglove, and that you can keep it around. At least for me, it's been successful. And you can see all in here is foxy foxglove, starting to shoot up its spikes. And then I just interplanted it with some pro cuts. But yeah, guys, I hope that's helpful to somebody out there. And now let's go shopping. Well, we're at our first stop. This is actually labeled as a reuse it shop. I'm not sure if that's a national thing or what, but this particular store is owned by a Mennonite church near here, and they donate a portion of the proceeds to do mission work with. So I thought that's really awesome too. So let's cross our fingers for a good find today. Like I say, sometimes it's a win, sometimes it's a total miss in here. So we'll just see how it goes. So there was a lot of beautiful clear glass work at this first thrift store. Much of it was $2, $3, maybe $4 max, and just beautiful footed compotes everywhere I looked. Now, if you see this tub just sitting in the middle of the floor, I have found some true hidden gems in this particular tub before, but alas, none today. Now, this particular vessel I almost purchased because I thought it would be nice to float some blooms in this bowl. I'm guessing it was a fruit bowl at one time, but wouldn't that look lovely with some gladiola blooms floating in it? I've been collecting this blue and white china for many years now, so I always take a close look and see if it's a piece I want to add to the collection. But I did try to stay on track today and just go for a footed compote. So I was almost ready to give up, but then I walked once more around the store and I saw this beautiful crystal compote. And can you believe it? It was only $2.50. I think it's coming home with us. Well, we're at our next stop. This is an antique market, so we have multiple different vendors to look through, and some of the vendors actually aren't too expensive. You know, some are definitely out of my price range, but sometimes you really find that diamond in the rough if you really look around. They also have some really cool cars. They actually have a car parked in this antique mart. I guess maybe it's from, it looks probably about the late 40s to me. You guys probably know better than I do, but I just love anything that is old and from kind of the 50s going into that 60s era. So I just like to come here to look around sometimes. So I think the vase that I'm after here is definitely a footed vessel. I want to be really specific when I go in a store like this, just because it's so big and there's so many options. I know there's going to be something in here that I want, so I like to narrow it down. I really want something that I don't have, and I've seen this vase before on the cover of a book I love called Cultivated: The Elements of Floral Design. But basically, it's a footed vessel, the base is made of marble, and then the body is made of bronze with kind of this ornate floral work on the body of the vessel. So I'm gonna be really specific and look for that item, and that'll kind of help me stay on track. So let's see what we can find. So I felt like we could have spent all day at this antique market. It had 3 different levels, so many wonderful vendors, and a lot of them are really passionate about florals.
I even had the opportunity to talk to one lady all about glass floral frogs. It was really an unexpected treat and the highlight of my day. I was really drawn to this teal, what they were calling sugar bowl, but I just wasn't sure if I would use it enough to make it worth the money. Now here we have some beautiful glass frogs, but for me, it's all about the pin frog, and this pin frog was huge and only $10. This is a mega score. I also love to look at anything that used to hold sugar or creamer, or even any kind of coffee cups are sometimes a really great floral design tool. And you know, I miss days when we had all these little trinkets around. I thought this piece was really interesting. It was called a yellow custard bowl, and is that milk glass that's tinted bright yellow somehow? These glasses were one of the last things I saw before I had to leave, and I thought the color was just phenomenal. I think I might go back and purchase one of them, but for now, the floral frog will certainly do the trick.
Well guys, I feel like that was a really fun and successful trip. I'm most excited really about the floral frog. That's about a 4 to 4.5 inch frog, and it only cost me $10. And when the lady at the counter saw that I was picking up that frog, she actually took me to her stand where she was selling clear and black glass frogs, and she kind of gave me an education on all the different colors that they used to come in and how the colorful ones were of course much more expensive and desirable. I've really never gotten the hang of designing in a glass flower frog, so if you have any tips for me on maybe what I might be doing wrong, please go ahead and leave those in the comments section, because I do have a glass frog from my grandma and I just don't use it because I really just can't figure out how to make it work. But anyway, let me show you what I got, and then I think we'll just put all these flowers I have here in some black and white china and call it a day. So I am wondering what the original use of this vessel was. I saw some that look like this marked as custard dishes. So if you have any idea what might normally would have been served in something like this, I would really like to know. This was in the kitchen section. And then the floral frog is in absolutely spectacular condition. I don't see any pins missing or any damage. So I'll just give this a good cleaning, and then we can probably use it right in there. So I decided to put the flowers just here on this little side table. So we have the beautiful Foxy Foxglove in that beautiful pinky purple. Also the white Foxy Foxglove. And then we have a nice big vase of Festiva Maxima Peony. And then right down here, we have a picture of my grandma on my wedding day. So guys, I think that's about it for today. Well guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. It was just so nice to kind of go out and about and get a new vessel and a new flower frog. I think I'm most excited about the frog, but I hope you're able to get out into your garden today and just pick a bucket of beautiful blooms to enjoy inside the home. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.